Can you run us back real quick to the lockout year when you played? I think it was 98, right? 98, 99. What was that like? Like, when did you guys find out that you were going to be locked out? Kind of where were you in that process? How did that all play out?
We knew as soon as the season was over with that it was going to be a lockout, because they was telling you prepare for a lockout, and then a lot of these guys, we know, and it was so weird to me. So many of these guys were coming up like, well, I don't have any money. Like, what the fuck were you doing the last 3 years or 2 years? You made like 10, 12 million. And a lot of us was like, okay, we're gonna have a lockout. Okay, you just tell the family, hey, we gonna keep these couple of cars for the next 4 years. We're not buying a new house. We're not buying nothing new. So
buckle down and
hey, mom and dad, hey, you're gonna have to penny pinch. And I know it sounds weird coming from a bunch of millionaires, but this is what you tell people.
Well,
so they put it in their mind like, hey, they're gonna be in a lockout. The money ain't coming like it used to be.
Well, your lifestyle changes. No matter how much money you make, if you lose your job, your lifestyle changes.
Right. Yeah. And for me, I was like, okay, the thing for me is you got to stay in shape. And what we did, which was amazing, a lot of us that were in the league, we just got together and said, hey, the people in Houston, we're gonna come to Charlotte and play all the guys in Charlotte. And we would go around playing different teams. We'd go there for a week, work out with them, and then play against them. And it was we made it kind of a fun thing, this city versus that city. We put together a lot of charity games. And I think for me, that was the biggest thing, because fans, even though it was not a lot of people, but you could still give them a little bit of basketball, put these charity events together. And guys actually win at each other too. It wasn't like an all-star game. Guys like, oh, I'm trying to stay in shape. I'm trying to get my numbers. I'm working on this. So it was hard, but for me, I enjoyed it because I had more time off.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
but you weren't in a position, not to get into your personal life, but you weren't in a financial position where this was like beyond detrimental at the time.
It wasn't beyond, because I've always been a penny pincher. And for that, I had just built a new house too. So I was like, oh shit. I'm like, gotta get back in soon. But I had already had money set aside for this house, and it was fine. Yeah. But I remember a lot of guys were like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I'm like, are you trying to tell me you've been in the league 5 years and you made $1 million each year? So that's about $2.5 million you should have saved up. You can't go 4 or 5 months without getting paid, because the lockout we gonna be out a whole season. That's too much money that be lost on both sides.
Yeah,
you trying to tell me? So it was just.
Where's your accountants? Like, where's your the people who? No, I know everybody may not have one, but if you're making a decent amount of money, I'm pretty sure you have an accountant. You have somebody that you can sit down, your financial advisor, who you can sit down with when it comes to these type of things. Hey, there could be a lockout. Let's look at your finances. Let's look at certain things. Let's look at what we can save here. Let's look at what we can invest in here, to where however long this thing goes, there's this other thing over here that's making you money while baseball or the sport is still in this lockout. Like, where are your financial advisors at?
No, the question is, why aren't you listening to your financial advisor?
True.
Because a lot of these guys have financial advisors. They just don't listen to them. And it was weird. I got to a point where I was like, going to my financial advisor, do you think it's possible if I could have 10 grand sent over to my account? I'm like asking them and say, yo, send 10 grand to my account. I'm like, hold on, it's my money. Why am I fucking asking? I'm like, I'm gonna tell you to send me 10 grand.
Please, sir. I have $10 to eat, sir.
And that's just how I thought, like, oh shit. And a lot of these guys also, it's the financial advisors that are taking their fucking money. Because they paying them, I can't believe guys pay someone 5, 3, 2, whatever percentage is to watch their money. And they have to pay them money on their money, and it's not making any money. That's the stupidest shit I ever heard.
That's a scam, and I don't know why I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's like, I remember my accountant when we first met. He says, I saw his bill. I said, dude, you charged me for a phone call? And I said, dude, you charged me for a fax? I go, hell no.
That's some lawyer shit, man. That is,
I tell him, I was like, you're not charging for this shit. And he says, what? I said, no. I said, dude, we had a phone call and we talked about business, but the last 20 minutes we talked about how's your wife, how the kid. We had personal shit. You ain't charging me for this. You ain't a damn psychologist. You ain't charging for this shit. And so he's like, oh, that's what the normal people. I said, I ain't normal, dude. I'm not paying that. He's been my accountant for the last 40 years. So, and we, because we said you got to stand up for things that you don't believe in. And not for me, I didn't believe in paying for fax machines, phone calls, and then